Good afternoon, everyone. This is Khurshid Ahmed from Poker Pro News. And joining me in today's interview session is none other than Abhishek Goindi, India's prominent poker player and coach. Currently serving as a Pokerbazi team pro, Abhishek has not only conquered numerous poker tables, but has also made significant contributions to the poker industry through his coaching and guidance. So without any further delay, let's get straight into conversation.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Welcome, Abhishek Goindi. So to begin with, tell us a little about you, your journey as a poker player and coach.
Oh, this is the long one. It's 17 years of history. Let me see if I can keep it short. I started playing poker very young in school. I came across this beautiful game, and then one thing led to another, led to another. And then there was this moment when I read my first few poker books, and I got my aha moment. You know, in everything, you need to have an aha moment to get that belief. So when I read my first few poker books, I was just like mind blown. I was like, what is happening here? Ye kaun se strategies hai? And then I applied these strategies in the home games I was playing, and it worked like a charm. So I started making money like that. And once that happened, I just had this belief. I was like, okay, this can be studied, this can be learned, it can be applied. It's a game of skill. So when people are telling me, oh no, it's gambling, yeah, jua hai, and all, I'm like, you guys have no idea, because I had studied it, applied it, and saw that the experiment worked. So my belief was very, very high. And I was someone who always wanted to travel. I was someone who always wanted like freedom and wanted to like be able to work anywhere in the world. And this was one of the first few things that could actually like give me that flexibility. You know, I could be anywhere in the world and make money and play this beautiful game that I loved, and you know, just keep studying and learning this game. So that's what attracted me to the game initially. It was the freedom, it was the lifestyle, it was the intricacies of the game where you're like actually studying and learning so many things and applying so many things. And I felt like it was a tool to teach you life, because all the parallels of life are there in this one beautiful game. You know, so if you look at the game for its beauty and try to understand what it can teach you, it takes it to another level, you know. But if you play this game only for the money aspect, then it can be a problem, you know. So the money was a byproduct, but it was everything else that came with it that actually excited me towards this game. So that was a little bit of history with me and playing this game. Then along the way, I learned a few things. A lot more things happened when I was traveling to Vegas. I was traveling to Australia and Europe. You know, you kind of grow up, and you kind of like get a little more mature. You kind of see things differently. And I was someone who always was curious, always wanted to learn, always wanted to grow. So I took on new and new roles and tried to challenge myself in different aspects. So that's what kind of led me to coaching as well, because when I was growing up, a lot of people didn't see this game for a game, or didn't see this sport for a sport. They thought it was gambling. And I kept telling people that, hey, you know, like this is not gambling, it's a sport. You can do it for a living. Because when you used to see it abroad, it's a full industry. But in India, the awareness was so low. किसी को पता ही नहीं था इसके बारे में कि इंडस्ट्री है, गेम है, क्या है, कैसे खेला जाता है. You know,
Actually,
जब मैं बाहर खेलता था, मुझे दिखता था ये सब. You know, so I used to see, and that basically told me that, okay, if you can bring all of that, your experience and your knowledge and your perspective, and if you can set that up in India, it'll help the game grow. It'll help people understand this game better. And then one thing led to another, and then I realized that coaching was a big aspect and of this entire ecosystem and awareness. Because luckily for me, I was here from like the starting day zero. So a lot of people came to me and asked me how I did it, what I did, kya tarike hain, and I kept helping people along the way. And then it reached a point where I was investing so much time in trying to help people grow, trying to help people get better at this game, trying to get people, you know, like just find their footing in this game. Because this game can be tough if you don't have a support system, you know. So I felt that responsibility. I felt like this game has given me so much that I have to give back something to the game, right? And try to help people in general. So that's what basically led to me coaching them. And then we used to run these offline boot camps in Goa, where we used to have them in like beautiful houses, you know, like teach them poker for like 3 nights, 4 days. And then COVID hit, so we moved online. And when we moved online, it became beautiful, because it gave me access to meet so many beautiful people across the country, you know, like people I would have never met. And I've made so many friends and people who become like family now in this community in Poker Bootcamp India. So that just kept me more motivated, because the more I was helping people and I would see them getting better and better at the game, the more motivation I got, because I was like, hey man, this feels so good to see that you're helping someone in their life, helping someone in their careers, helping someone like walk the road and giving them a way of living or a way of like getting better or growth. So that's what kind of like kept me going in this entire coaching space after a while. And then Pokebazi Team Pro happened along the way. So that was a new challenge, new exciting project. I like to do new things all the time. So I'm someone who gets bored pretty quickly if I'm doing repeated things. So I like to just mix a lot of things, and then yeah. So here I am, pretty much just experimenting, figuring out what I can do, and I love this game, like they say.
Wonderful. As a seasoned poker pro and coach, uh, according to you, what distinguishes a successful poker player from the rest of poker players?
Longevity. I think people don't understand how long the long run is or how short the short run is. Like it's easy to win a few tournaments in 1 year. It's easy to be profitable in 1 year, maybe 2 years, 3 years. But to survive over like 5, 7, 8, 10 years is, I think, what defines a successful poker player. And how he manages his money and how he grows his bankroll defines a successful poker player. Because at the end of the day, like apart from everything else it teaches you, you still, fortunately or unfortunately, success is dependent on your ROI in the game, right? So it's about the ROI that comes in. That's the metrics. All like there's a funny saying: we live in a results-driven world, but this is a process-oriented game. So basically just seeing how people go about growing in the game, growing their mindset, growing their bankroll, how they keep challenging themselves and how they survive over a long period of time, and how they basically how disciplined they can stay, and how like I always say this, like it's easy to play well when you're winning, but when you're on a downswing, and what you do and how you basically manage your downswing is what defines your character.
That's true. Uh, Poker coaching in India is growing day by day.
Yeah.
Could you provide insights into the current coaching scene in India? And also, could you share the current challenges and gaps in the Indian poker coaching system?
Yeah.
And
Okay. So
also, what steps can be taken to address these challenges and gaps?
Okay, so there are a lot of poker coaching is definitely growing. Like we've been the pioneers of poker coaching at Poker Bootcamp India, right? We're literally the first ones here. We're literally figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and there's a lot of experiments that we run, whether it's structuring the courses, structuring the content, figuring out packages, figuring out price points, the marketing of it. There's so many different things that we're learning along the way, right? Because what works abroad doesn't really work in India. India just works in a very different market. I mean, India is just a very different market. So when it comes to the challenges of poker coaching, I feel like a lot of low and mid stakes players need poker coaching, because that's where the grassroots development happens, and that's where the entry point happens for poker players. And you want to basically make sure that they're not building bad habits while playing poker. Uh, so basically, in the hope of, like, I mean, so you don't want them to build bad habits. So you want to kind of teach them the right things initially, right? When they're starting off low stakes or mid stakes, or when they're just starting off poker, right? Whether it comes to bankroll management, whether it comes to the fundamentals in poker, the mindset, like how to go about studying the game. But unfortunately or fortunately, at that level, people don't understand the importance of poker coaching. Like this game basically makes you a little delusional. So people automatically feel like, नहीं यार मैं जीत सकता हूँ, या मैं खुद try करके देखूंगा पहले, poker coaching क्यों चाहिए? And then they win a few tournaments, or they go on a good run for maybe like a month, 2 months, or a few weeks. So then they'll be like, यार we know this game, हम जीत रहे हैं ना, तो मतलब किसी से और क्यों पूछना है? क्यों सीखे हम? And then there'll come a time after, like, usually after, like, 1 year, between 12 and 18 months, there'll come a time where they'll realize, अरे यार हमने 12 महीने लगाए या 18 महीने लगाए, लेकिन जीत नहीं रहे हम लोग. Like, in the sense, we're not really like progressing in our games. We're getting stuck. We need help, and this happens like a lot. Okay, so most people will never come to us in the first month of playing or second month of playing. They'll always experiment first. They'll try it. They'll burn their fingers, and then they'll come to us between like 12 to 18 months, because that's when they have enough time and sample size on their side to basically be like, okay, we need coaching now, we need to progress. We love this game, we're investing time in this game, but we need to also now figure out how to get better and make money at this game, right? So that is one mindset issue that we kind of have to like cater to. So if we can start coaching them or helping them with habits from day one or very early on, I think that will help them or lead to more successful poker players, and that will also lead to the industry growing because we won't have fallouts as much. Because a lot of times what happens is they'll try, they won't succeed, and they'll fall out, and then they'll say, "Arey, game rigged hai, yeah, online rigged hai, yeah, RNG rigged hai," yeah, like they'll start basically blaming at anything that comes in their way. So a bad worksman always blames his tools, right? And the other thing is the price point. People don't really understand the value of coaching. A lot of times, there are some people who understand it. That's why they're with us at the Poker Bootcamp India. But a lot of people understand the value of coaching, right? Because there is free content available as well. So be like, अरे यार क्यों पैसे देने हैं? It's an Indian mindset. कि अरे free में मिल जाएगा, YouTube पे check कर लेंगे, यहाँ देख लेंगे. But after doing research on their own, they realize कि YouTube पे जो दिख रहा है वो उनको समझ में नहीं आ रहा या वो structured नहीं है. Yeah, it is not the way to study or it won't work in Indian fields. Like there are so many different aspects that happen. So we have so many people be like, "Arey, we tried studying on YouTube, we did this course, we did that course, and then we've come to you." Right? Because yeah, Indians unfortunately or fortunately will try every way to get the best value out of it, without really like being like, okay, we trust this, or we let's invest here, and then basically like figure out how to go forward. So that's another one. The other mindset issue or the challenge is basically like people look at it as a cost. It should actually be looked at it as an investment, because you're investing in yourself, right? You're
Right.
investing in yourself to get better, because you're sharpening yourself. You need to understand that you are a tool, and you're making your tool stronger so that you can go out there and fight. So you're investing in yourself. It's not a cost, it's an investment, because this amount that you put in, you're going to gain so much experience, knowledge, skills, that those skills are going to give you so much value in the long run, right? So the amount you invest, if you basically like study properly and listen to things we say, and like use all the resources we have, you will go out there and actually become a very good poker player, and you will make this money back in no time, right? The other mindset challenge, or the other challenge we face, is like people come, they invest, after 6 months or 3 months they start winning, and they'll be like, ab ho gaya, ab seekh gaya hum." like ab hum we can go out on our own. So then again they go into that trap where they start losing again, or they'll win for a bit and then they'll go down, 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 and they won't know what to do. There are very few people who can actually like basically survive after 3 months with us, or 5 months with us, or 6 months with us, because they learn the ropes really, really well. Those ones go on to do pretty well. But the ones who've stayed with us for almost like 18 months or 2 years are the ones who've actually gone on to do extremely well, and we have so much data to prove that as well. So the longer time you spend, the better it is, because it's like any other sport. If you want to get good, you have to still keep getting coached and keep getting better. And it's like Virat Kohli, he still has a coach. I keep saying this. Virat Kohli is the world's best batsman, and he still has a coach, whether he plays for Bangalore or whether he plays for India.
Yeah.
So you still need that coaching, you still need that guidance, you still need that someone to support you and be like, hey, this is what you're doing wrong, or this is what you're doing correct. So these are all the small factors or mindset issues that come in. And then obviously the price points are some things that we need to look into, because if you look at foreign courses, they charge almost like 10x or 15x the amount we charge. So the Indian disposable income and the pay pockets, I mean the to make it pocket friendly was a big challenge, because we're investing our time, our resources, our knowledge, right? At the same time, it has to have some benefit for us too, right? So that is a big fight. And obviously, if like websites support us, and websites are like, hey, you know what, we'll fund you, or we'll build something for you, we'll give you players and we'll pay you, you guys can coach them, it's beneficial for everybody. Because when these poker players get better and better and better, they'll play on the websites more, which means more revenue for them, which means the ecosystem grows. Because what we are doing is essentially creating poker players and making sure that they don't go broke, making sure that they start winning, making sure that they don't get into too many bad habits, and we create poker players for a really long time. Because we teach them the basic tools. It's like swimming or driving. You come, you learn how to drive, you learn how to swim. You will always drive or swim in your life. If I throw you into the water, you'll know how to swim. But it doesn't mean you'll become like the best swimmer, or it doesn't mean you'll become like Michael Schumacher or Verstappen. But you'll learn how to do these things. So that's what I say will be. This is just an overall view of my view of how the coaching industry is and how we basically look at things.
So I should move on to the next question.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on your, poker coaching approach? What I mean to say, like what uh, strategies do you follow to enhance your students' poker skills?
What strategies do I follow to enhance my student skills?
Yeah.
Firstly, I use a lot of my experience because I've literally climbed up the stakes from playing like 5 rupee binds, 10 rupee binds, right? So I've gone through the journey, I've gone through each level. I kind of understand the mindset and psychology in each level. I understand the fields. Uh, um, I do a lot of research work to figure out what works, what doesn't work. So I use a lot of my experience. B, I use a lot of technical aspects of things as well. So we teach them a lot of tools, how to basically go about using these tools to enhance their knowledge, enhance their skills, and how to also apply this in our fields, right? Because what you really learn from these tools might not be directly applicable on these fields. You know, sometimes the way you have to adjust in these Indian fields are different from the way you have to adjust in the global fields, right? So we put together all of those aspects of things, and now we also have like workbooks and quizzes and exercises where we basically get these guys to fill in or work on as soon as the sessions are over. You know, we pick spots which are very common or high frequency spots, like we say, which you'll see on a day-to-day basis, and try to get you better at those things. And then we do like in hand history sessions, we basically go through your replay, like how you have in every sport. You know, like Virat Kohli would go back and watch his cricket match and see what he did wrong, or where he did wrong, or what he could have done better. Similarly, in ours, we go through the video footage and or a hand history, like we say, and see what the player has done correctly, what he's not done correctly, what are his gaps, or what are his weaknesses, and how to basically fix his weaknesses. And once we identify the weakness, then we tell them what they should do to fix it. You know, so it's an ongoing process, because once you fix this weakness, something else will come up, or some other weakness will come up, or some other, gap will come up, which we have to continuously fix. You know, so and then we also have like a bunch of coaches who provide their insights and experience and insight, their strengths to everybody else. And then we have this community which kind of helps as a support system, so you can bounce off ideas. You know, you can bounce off different insights, and eventually it helps you grow as a person, as a poker player. And yeah.
All right. How do you see your poker coaching impacting the Indian poker community? Could you also share some success stories of your mentees?
Yeah, so I think our coaching methodology is obviously providing a lot of success. It's helping the Indian ecosystem multiple ways by creating poker players, helping poker players, giving them a life, giving them a career, or a second option if people want to do it semi-professionally, opening their eyes and guiding them in the right track, and not making sure they're not falling, or making sure they're avoiding all the common pitfalls, all the traps which this game can bring to you, or can lay out for you rather. And so from a coaching perspective, I think it's helping grow this ecosystem, because if you don't have people guiding people, you'll have a very high drop off rate. You know, because people won't know what to do, they'll go burn their money, they'll have all these misconceptions, they'll have all these myths, like online poker is rigged, the RNG is rigged, this game doesn't this game is a game of luck, game, it's a gamble. They'll have all these misconceptions. So we're basically breaking down all those misconceptions and teaching people the right aspect of things, making them view it from the right way, which kind of like solidifies them as a poker player, which in turn makes them like mini models for their friend circles and groups, you know, and it creates like a ripple effect, right? When it comes to how our students are doing, I think you can see it for yourself. They're doing really, really well, and it makes me really happy to see them do really, really well. These guys have been smashing it. Most of them have been smashing it. Obviously, we have like some students which are not doing well, because that's just how it works. But those are the ones that either don't pick up well, or leave early, you know, or are not attentive, or are not disciplined. And it's like every academy or every school, you know, you'll have the good ones and the bad ones. But in general, our good ones are just really, really good, because they've been winning medals, they've been winning trophies, they've probably got like more than 25, 30 crores in cashes, maybe more actually. I don't even know. I've lost track. And when it comes to medals at the National Poker Series, I've lost track. We've got more than 30 medals, 30, 35 medals, if I'm not mistaken. Like I think like 9 or 10 gold medals, 9 or 10 silvers, 9 or 10 bronze, something like that. It's pretty ridiculous though. When I keep seeing it, I mean, I don't believe it sometimes. I'm like, wow, man, like who'd have ever thought? that this would have been. Who would have ever thought that these boys would have gone out there to perform so well? And I think that speaks for itself. It speaks volumes as to what we're doing. I'm someone who believes in just making sure that put in the work and just like help the guys, and they'll go out there, and when they perform, automatically we perform.
Okay, with the increasing number of poker players seeking coaching, how do you see the future of poker coaching in India?
Oh, with more people seeking coaching, I think the game is only going to grow because more people are going to understand how this game is supposed to be played and how it's supposed to be approached and how it's a sport. And it might not grow so much at the professional level, but the game is going to grow with semi-professionals. It's going to grow at house games and home games, like they say, and it's going to be more accepted. People are not going to look at it as a game of gamble, but people are going to look at it as a game of skill or a sport, and they're going to be more open to it. And once they start to understand the positives out of this game, like the stuff that it can teach you about risk management, about life skills, decision making, analytical skills, like emotional control. So many aspects of it, discipline, physical fitness. People are going to be more willing to approach this game and more willing to like look at people who play this game in a more respectful manner, because initially there was no respect towards poker players, and now you can see that respect changing, because when people actually try to play this game, they understand how tough it can get, right? And what it requires one to basically go through or be to basically play this game for a living, or at least at a high level. So because off late I can see how people have now shifted their focus towards saying, hey man, it's so tough to do this, or I don't know how you do this. Earlier they'll be like, अरे क्यों कर रहा है ये, जिंदगी बर्बाद कर रहा है, yeah, like you're going to gamble away your living, or your
Negative thought.
negative comment. Now you can see the positive because they understand it's tough, it's not as easy, and if you want to do it for a living, it's even tougher. But the beauty about this game is you can do it at all levels. You can do it for a living, you can do it semi-professionally, you can do it as a side income, you can do it recreationally. You can choose what you really want from this game, so and still be profitable, which is the beauty about this game. So that's how I see it.
All right. Abhishek, you have played both live and online poker since a long time. So, according to you, what are the key differences between online and live poker, and how do you adapt your strategies accordingly?
Okay, so I think live poker and online poker, the game of poker is the same, but obviously some tactics and strategies are slightly different. To give you perspective, it's like T20 cricket and Test cricket. Like both are cricket, but you can't play the same way in both formats, right? Because one is over 5 days and one is like 20 overs. And now you can see in Indian squad as well, they're like different players for different what you say formats of the game. Right. So similarly in live poker and online poker, I think live poker is so much more slower, right? You need to be so much more patient. You need to be more observant because you can read body language a lot better. You can see people, you can see how they're acting, you can see the way they're basically making their decisions, and you can feel the vibe, right? In live poker. In online poker, you can't really see that, because it's behind the screen. So it's a little more technical. With online poker, you need to be technically a little more sound, so to play online poker. And live poker, you won't see as many bad beats because the game is slow, not because the game is rigged, because the dealer only deals 15 hands an hour. Online, you're playing 45, 50 hands an hour because there's no manual shuffler and manual chips, right? And you're playing 4, 5 tables. So you're playing like almost 150, 200 hands an hour, right? So the speed of the game is so much more faster. And in live poker, I feel like people don't bluff as much. They do bluff, but not as much as online poker because you can see them. So, the human psychology kind of takes over. And some good players bluff, but in general, they don't bluff as much as online poker. Online poker, I feel like people bluff a lot more because they're behind a computer screen. They just have to click a button. Unko farak nahi pad raha. They can basically go ahead with it. Right? So basically, that's how I see the difference mainly between live and online poker. And I think the body language and composure that you need to have also is very, very important. You need to be able to train yourself to sit there like a rock, not express anything, which is why the poker face comes in. You need to be able to like pick up on any sort of body language that you can gain information on.
Balancing a career as a poker player, representing Poker Bazi as a pro, and providing coaching at the same time can be very, very challenging. So, like, how do you maintain a balance between your professional commitments and personal life?
It's a tough one, bro. That's why I'm losing hair pretty quickly. Yeah. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It takes a lot of work, takes a lot of mindset training, takes a lot of investment into yourself, and it's not the easiest. But it boils down to how you design your goals, how you build your habits, and what you really want in life. And like I say, the a lot of people say the grass is green on the other side. I say the grass is green where you water it. So it's you just got to invest in yourself. And something which I've been working on off late is something called time management, which I never really cared about when I was a kid, but I feel like I understand it now. When people used to say like time management, I was like farak nahi padta. But now I understand the concept of time management and why it's important, especially when you have so many things going on. Which is why you know why it took us so long to even do this podcast, because I was just so pressed for time. Yeah, so that is something. So I've been working with all of these aspects right now. In fact, I've also been working with Phil Galfond in his course called Beyond the Game, which focuses a lot on these aspects of things. And I've been personally getting mentored by him as well in the last few weeks too. So yeah, so I'm learning a lot as to how to go about these things, and I'm trying to put that to effect as much as I can.
Wonderful. With the WSOP 2024 starting later this month, what are your plans and preparations for this prestigious event? And how do you recommend poker players prepare for this event? And also, one more question. What events would you be most looking forward to this year?
Honestly, my WSOP 2024 plans are not yet finalized. I know I will be going, but I don't know for how long. I usually go for about 45 days. I usually get there by the second week of June and stay till the end of the series. But this time around, I have some personal commitments. I have too much work going on as well, whether it's the boot camp, whether it's my team pro role, personal stuff. I have one of my closest friends getting married as well. So just too many things going on right now. So I'm unable to decide when I'm going to go. But hopefully, when I get more clarity, I will be able to plan it better. But currently, the way I'm looking at it is, I want to get there maybe by the end of June, third week or fourth week of June, so that it gives me like a week before the main event to play out there, and then just play the main event and then evaluate after that and see how it goes. So I'll know only closer to time, and I'll be able to take a call only in June because I have too many free moving parts currently. So my best friend's also, like I said, getting married. So I'm just waiting on a few things on him to figure out how it basically like pans out for me. And I'm also turning 35 this year.
Oh,
So I want to be here for my birthday, which is on June 23rd. Usually I spend it in Vegas. So I want to be here on my birthday as well, and spend it with all my close ones. So there are a few things on my mind. So maybe I'll just fly out right after my birthday and see how it goes.
happy birthday in advance.
Thank you, brother.
Abhishek, now I will give you some animal names and you have to tell me who resembles who.
Okay.
Shark,
Shark. Oh wow. I can't use my name, right? Like I would say Sri Harsha.
all right.
But are we talking only Indians or are we talking anyone?
Anyone?
Anyone, then there's so many sharks, bro. Then there's like globally there's so many sharks. But Indian, I would say Sri Harsha.
Fish,
Fish, way too many, dude. A lot of people at the poker boot camp in India who come in.
whale,
Wales, same thing. Someone with a lot of money. So I'm guessing some cash game player on high stakes poker. I would guess maybe like Nick Airball.
your favorite poker destination.
My favorite poker destination, online poker actually, man. But I think off late, it was actually Barcelona, but off late it's I think moving to Vietnam.
Your favorite poker tournament series.
In India, it has to be I actually look at everything honestly. Like for me, series doesn't matter. I'm still looking at like the basics of ROI and structure and like guarantees and all of that stuff. But I think from a marketing perspective and a branding perspective, I think the National Poker Series is probably one of the strongest right now.
The toughest opponent, in your opinion, from India?
Um, I would have to say the toughest opponent in India for me has been Vishal Bajaj.
Finally, would you like to name your favorite poker players from India and international scene?
I don't know about favorite poker players, but yeah, I have a few that I think are up there. So Sri Harsha, Sood, Vishal Bajaj, I think are pretty up there. There are quite a few up there to be honest. Ashish Manot is pretty good as well. Um, you know, all these boys are right up there. Globally, obviously, I think I grew up as a Dean Eggs fan. So Dean Eggs and Phil Ivey have always been someone that I've really, really been a fan of. Phil Galfond. But from the modern day school of poker players, I would say um, I used to like Michael Adamo a lot. I like Michael Adamo a lot. I like Linus a lot. European is very, very good as well. Um, and I've been liking how this Roman guy has been playing at the Triton. Roman Rabic. He's been playing really, really well as well. I like his style of play too.
Okay, to conclude, what are your future goals and aspirations as a coach and player?
Man, as a player, just keep winning and keep climbing. Maybe win a bracelet. And as a coach, just build the entire ecosystem to a point where more and more people can come in, make it more accessible, more affordable, have more content modules in place, and hope that everybody who wants to get better just comes to the boot camp, and we have something for everybody.
All right, with that, we come to the end of our exciting conversation with you. Thank you for your time and wisdom shared with us. We wish you all the best for today's grind, and the WSOP is starting later this month. Thank you.
Thank you guys.